Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name's Steve. I'm the VP of Twitch for Europe. The title of today's presentation is Twitch. What is this thing? And we're going to give you the sort of view of Twitch from a broadcaster perspective. So I'll just do a quick round of introductions. If there's any questions at the end, we'll kind of share the questions between us. So to my left is Craig Onscreen Shannon. I didn't just make that up. Onscreen is his kind of Twitch nom de plume. This is James Duffield in the other Twitch top. He's a custom solutions manager for Europe. So part of his role is to manage the influencers who we work with, like Craig, when we're executing partnerships on behalf of brands. And then finally at the end is Mike Thomas, who's the UK sales director. So Twitch, what is this thing? On the social media push out that you received about today's event, there was a quote from Bloomberg: Twitch, the global vortex of adolescent veneration, which I thought was an amazing quote from Bloomberg. The adolescent thing is a bit, I would dispute that a little bit. I think that if you had a look at our audience makeup, we're not just made up of adolescents. We are firmly in that millennial generation. Video gaming being, the sort of fifth. Or maybe even higher entertainment pillar now. We're very much sort of 18 to 34. But also within that article, Deepfield, the US research company, announced that Twitch was regularly in the top 4 users of global internet bandwidth. So that gives you some idea of our scale. And that kind of ranking goes Netflix, Apple, Google, and Twitch. And of course, we're about live streaming video, so we're going to use a lot of bandwidth, but it gives you an indication of how big we are. So what are we? We're a platform. We're a video streaming platform, a live video streaming platform where people can broadcast themselves, people can come and watch, but we're also a place where people can hang out and chat. And that's a really important part of, the kind of message about community and sort of social and where people hang out. And you'll hear from Craig about his own story, about how he communicates with his community. And so when you see sort of Twitch grow from where we are now, you'll see various kind of levels of product iteration around that kind of social media aspect. So you'll see greater functionality around one-to-one messaging. You'll see sort of added functionality around news feeds, and everything that you might recognize more from a kind of Twitter or Facebook environment will kind of be rolling out on Twitch over the next year. So I'll just explain kind of, a top-line view on how it works, and it's important to kind of understand the sort of user journey when someone comes into Twitch. So we're an open platform. You can come in, you can anybody can view Twitch. You can go in, you can see who's broadcasting. You might be interested in a particular game, and you might start watching people broadcasting that particular game. You might be sort of, just kind of navigating through the site and seeing who the funny characters are. So you might find people not necessarily like, a particular game, but game agnostic, that are just really engaging personalities. And you might just like find them amusing and hang out. Anybody can do that. What then happens is that, people grow in confidence. They understand how to use the platform, and they think that they want to start broadcasting themselves. And so in Twitch's history, there was sort of 2 key things that happened that got us to this point of where we are today. The first one was when we approached games developers and publishers and asked them to integrate the Twitch SDK into their games, which allowed PC gamers to share their experience and broadcast themselves. And then we had the same conversation with Sony and Microsoft and effectively did the same thing, but hard-coded it into the console itself. So if you load up the Xbox One, you switch it on straight away, Twitch appears as a native app. If you're familiar with the PS4, there's a share button on the thing, and you can instantly start broadcasting yourself, and everybody will be able to see what you're doing in that environment. Obviously, that gave us a huge amount of scale. So that's the enabler for people to move that sort of one stage to the right and move from viewers to broadcasters. And we currently have about 1.5 million people broadcasting on the site at any point. When those broadcasters become popular and they start to build up a following and they reach a certain kind of level, a saturation point within their geo market, it's that point that Twitch will reach out through the partnerships team and onboard these people as partners. Now, as a partner, of which Craig is one, you have the opportunity to generate revenue. So you'll generate revenue through a share of advertising revenue, so the advertising that appears within your broadcast. You'll generate revenue from subscriptions. People will subscribe to your channel for various reasons, added functionality. Craig will talk to you about that. And people also donate. And, Craig's got some interesting stuff to tell you about, the volume and the amounts that people will donate. And then right at the very top, we have our influencers. They are key influencers within their communities. Again, it might be game specific, or it might be, just more about their personalities. And these are the people that we work excuse me, these are the people that we work very closely with when we're activating campaigns in partnerships with brands. So that's kind of how the sort of Twitch journey works. What we've actually created is a bit of a lifestyle brand. And, I don't say this lightly. I say this from my own personal experience. I joined Twitch about 4.5 months ago. About 6 weeks ago, we held TwitchCon. It was our first event in San Francisco. It was a place where, we invited a lot of the influencers, a lot of the partners to come along and share their experiences about broadcasting on Twitch. And then obviously their fans or people that want to kind of take that next step can come and meet them. So we had workshops, that kind of thing. We had 20,000 people turn up over 2 days, which was, quite phenomenal. This picture on the bottom right here, that's the queue for the Twitch merchandise store. So to buy a Twitch hoodie or a Twitch t-shirt or something like that you can't normally buy, people, their average queuing time at the merch store was 6 hours. And some points it was like 9 or 10 hours. So some people were coming for the 2 days, spending 1 day in a queue to buy a t-shirt, and then coming back the next day. And so this gives you some idea of this sort of sense of community and kind of brand loyalty and the way that people perceive Twitch. And I think that's really, really important to sort of try and understand when you understand sort of where we are and where we're going to be heading. So rather than me kind of explain anymore, I'm going to hand you over to Craig Onscreen Shannon, who's come down from Stoke to share his story with you today. Over to you, Craig.
Hello. Yeah. So my name's Craig. Over known as Onscreen in the gaming world. I'm 27 years old. Obviously, been gaming as a hobby now for a long time. Since I was a kid, really, my dad got me into it. Left college when I was 18. Obviously, worked in the IT industry. On the side, I did my gaming as a hobby, but I also did on a professional level as well. So back then, you could play games and earn some money on the side, playing professionally, so in tournaments and whatnot. The game I played is called Counter-Strike, so it's like a competitive shooter, team-based game. So we'd play against other teams and whatnot in certain tournaments. It was also sponsored as well, so it was an organisation that sponsored us to play. So we were branded and all the rest of it. This is back when Twitch didn't exist. So this is kind of the story of how I got into it, really. They even put it into a house and everything. So I moved over to Manchester, originally from Liverpool, so I've got a bit of a Scouse accent to me, which you'll see come out. But I moved into Manchester, and they put us all into a house together. And we lived there, we played games, they sent us to various events and whatnot. We got to around, I think it's around 2011. The whole organisation that we was with all died down, and gaming itself wasn't going that popular. And I was off the job then in Shell, the oil company. So I had an IT career then offered to me then. So that's when I kind of give it all up. I said, all right, I'm going to not bother with it now, and went into working for Shell from there. From there, really, that's when Twitch started growing popular. I started streaming a bit, but not as much as I did back from then. I kind of did it like part-time, so I'd work in the office all day, come back, start streaming of an evening. But it kind of grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Fast forward now to around 2014. From there, I already built up quite a bit of following. So from there, you had about 100, 200 concurrent viewers who'd watch me on a nightly basis. As gaming grew bigger, Twitch grew bigger as well. And now they were tuning in, and people, like you said before, people can subscribe. So it's around about 500 subscribers who'd pay monthly just to watch me, as well as all the followers as well. And I always said to them, if I ever hit 1,000, I'd hang my mouse up, I'd actually quit my job and I would go full time and whatnot. And around March this year, just one day, everyone got together, they all got their friends involved, and I streamed as a normal stream like I would normally do, at the end of work, the end of the office day, as a Friday night, and people just started subscribing. It never stopped. It kept on going. So obviously I'm playing games while people were watching me, but people kept on subscribing. and ended up about 350 in one night just in the run. So I went through the full 1,000. So I was like, oh God, okay. So the next day, I had an interesting conversation with my boss back at Shell, just to give my notice in and all the rest of it. And I went full-time Twitch streamer, really, from April this year. So yeah, from April, I now full-time just play games for a living. That's all I do. It's quite a niche thing, I understand that. Not many people understand how it works and all the work, but that's basically it. So where I'm at today, so obviously this sub count keeps on growing. I'm around 1,500 to 2,000 paying people, actually paying monthly to watch, and around 170,000 followers, as you would, like YouTube subscribers, similar to that. As well as that, you have, like someone mentioned before, about donations. So while I'm streaming, people can donate money as well. So it's like a tip, basically. So people just literally throw money at me while I'm streaming, just for like a message to come up. And it's been anything from £10 to £2,000 in a single donation. Just someone saying, yeah, love what you do, keep on doing it. So yeah, there's stuff like that. Obviously, I have the ad revenue as well, which comes in, as well as the subscribers revenue. I've also got partnerships with a number of companies now as well who sponsor me directly. We've got there's a company called Overclockers, which is like a computer hardware company. So they sponsor me, they give me a salary, they give me hardware, new computers and everything. So I'm branded with them. Most recently, I got with Just Eat, it's like a takeaway company, Just Eat. So with them, I get a free account, order food whenever I want. I have to order when I'm streaming. So in between games, I'll go on my stream, load up the website, start ordering food. I'll speak to my chat and go, right, what I'm going to order, guys? And go, Craig, get an Indian, get a pizza, and they'll talk me through it while I'm going through and get order, yeah. So they'll do that, and they'll give me stuff to give away as well. So they'll give me vouchers, and I can give away, Just Eat vouchers, so the viewers can get involved as well. I'll pick a random viewer, and then they'll get a free pizza, for example, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at as of today. Still going strong. I don't regret giving up my IT career or anything like that. Way ahead of where I was back when I was at Shell. So it's brilliant so far. I can only see it getting bigger. For me, Twitch is only just the start, really. Like I said, I've been in gaming since the start because I'm 27 now. I've been here all the time, and I know Twitch is big now, but it's still nothing compared to what it can be, which is why I kind of made the career move to jump over, if I could call it a career move, if you even call it a job. But yeah, that's why I made the decision to do that, and I can't see it dying down anytime soon, really. But that's my life in a nutshell, really. Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.